What's up, everybody? Back with another video on the death cart. This video is going to be all about the more in-depth detail on what's happening with the car. The last video is kind of like a, hey, this is what I'm doing, follow along if you want, blah blah blah. This time it's going to be, it's probably going to be a little boring to a lot of you, but it's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of details on the cage, the rough idea of the cage. I'll put a screenshot of like the really rough render of like the first iteration of what the cage is going to be. It's going to be pretty talky, in depth. It's going to go over the design for the cage, the plan for the car, like all that good stuff. So let's get into this detailed breakdown of what we're doing with the car. So obviously, you know it's going to be a death cart at this point. Why am I turning this TL into a death cart? Well, it was my daily driver. It got in an accident and it totaled it. As you can see here, A-pillars all smashed, fender curtains all smashed up. That would have totaled the car. Instead of scrapping it, I decided I wanted to keep it and do something fun with it. It's got 281, almost 282,000 miles on it. It had some rust. It's like, it wasn't the perfect car. It was a great daily, but it was not like a show quality build, Stancy VIP car or anything like that. But so it's not a bad example to be cutting up and turning into something cool. So let's go over, I guess, the initial cage design and the initial plans for like the first iteration of the car, kind of. So we'll start in the, I guess, towards the front because that's what makes the most sense. So of course I backed the car in, so the lighting isn't the best on this side of the car right now, but so eventually front end is going to all be cut off from pretty much here forward. Up top is going to be cut off. The outer fender curtain is going to be cut off on both sides. The whole core support is going to be cut off. The frame rails are going to be cut back to about there. You can see, it's hard to see because the lighting's not great up here, but that section that goes down to the subframe, like I'm going to cut off forward of that, which doesn't do anything. So that's going to get cut off. And then same thing on this side, outer fender curtain's going to go. It's going to get cut from here forward. Then the whole front end is going to be off the car. Then we're going to do tubular front on it, which will eventually tie into the cage. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to start doing the cutting on the front yet, just because like most of the work is going to be done at my uncle's shop, and right now I could still technically drive it there, but I still have a little bit more work I want to do before I really drive it there. The goal was to like the main portion, or like the main hoop and the down bars at least, so before I drove it there. But so I haven't decided yet if I want to cut the front off before I drive it or not. But yeah, so that's what's happening like here forward. From here, this whole, I'm pretty sure this whole outer section of this rocker, I'm just going to cut all out completely because you probably can't see it, but in there you can see the actual rocker section in here, the actual structural part. This is all body. It still does some structural work, but it's not that's not the purpose of it. So the plan is to cut all that off. The B pillar is going to go bye-bye. The roof is going to get cut right about here because I'm planning on keeping the stock windshield just because it'll be nice. So I don't know. I may end up changing my mind on that, but as for now, this is going to get cut here because there's like a support that goes across right here that ties the two A pillars together. So that's going to get cut there, and then all this is going to go. The B pillar is going to be gone. This outer rocker screen and everything is going to be gone. And then, so I will weld a plate down here to the top of wherever I cut the rocker or the B pillar off. So that'll be welded to that, and ideally it'll tie down into the actual rocker section below it. And then up here, it's going to, like all this is going to be cut off. So the cage is going to come like, so when the B-pillar is gone, instead of the cage coming in like this, like the car normally does, it's going to come more like straight up and then curve over for the main hoop. And then it's going to kind of follow, it's going to go straight down, and then it's going to merge into this, like what was the door frame. It's going to come straight and then merge into that door frame. And then it's going to follow that door frame all the way down here along this. And then it's going to tie directly into the actual rocker structure down here. So it'll be nice and solid and secured to some good heavy duty metal. I'll probably still build a box that welds to that rocker structure and then weld the bar to it. So then that'll be tied in there. So that'll kind of come up and over and then tie into the main hoop here, which will obviously go up and over. And then obviously the other side will be mirrored. And then I'll have door bars going down in an X. And then I don't need to do any like wide clearance X bars either, just because the cage is going to be wide. Like the cage is going to be all the way out here instead of like sucked in, because it's trying to stay inside of the doors because there's no doors. And then for the back, the rear down bars are going to be a little different shape than what you would normally do. So they're not just going to come like straight down at an angle and tie in to the strut tower there. They're going to actually like kind of come back and then curve down and then tie in to the strut tower, because my plan is to keep a back seat in this thing. So if I don't do that curve, then it's going to make it a little more difficult to get in and out of the back of the car. So I want to do that little bit of curve, and then I'll have another bar that ties in here the other way and comes straight down to tie into the main hoop down at the bottom in the base plate. So that'll be kind of like this, and then that one will come up and over kind of like that. And what you'll see on the really rough like idea I have for the cage that I made the render, and then it'll have a bar going across the back from like down bar to down bar. And then I'm going to build a strut tower brace as well for the back. And then obviously I will do a dash bar. I'm still keeping the stock dash bar for now, but once the cage is actually built out here, I'll probably run a bar straight across as well, to tie it all in better. But yeah, so that's like the first portion of the cage that's going to be done is just that main hoop, the front A-pillar bars, door bars, and then the rear down bars, and then the rear strut tower bar. And once the rear strut tower bar is gone, all of this up here, gone. All this is getting cut out. Like all this rear shelf, completely gone. So it'll just be the strut towers hanging out in space over here left. So yeah, so that's what I plan on doing here in this garage. I most likely, if it gets a little difficult doing these bars or these tubes in here, then I might just stick with doing the main hoop and the down bars, because that'll at least tie the center of the car back with the back of the car a little better than it is currently, because obviously right now it's just the floor. So that might be what I do, and then I might take it to my uncle's house to do like the A-pillar bar and all that type of stuff. But yeah, and then so like phase 2, I guess, once that portion is done and the car is like fully drivable and all that good stuff, then this stuff will be done up here. Like I said, I still don't know if I'm just going to do this as part of phase 1 or not, but so off of this A-pillar bar right here where it curves down will be the tube that goes up and around the front. So it'll have one continuous tube that comes all the way down, follows the shape of this. It'll tie into this upper strut tower, come all the way down and around where the core support goes, all the way to that side and tie into the cage again. So that'll be the upper, and then the lower will tie into the actual like frame rails. So this will be back farther where I cut it off, and we'll plate, and the bar will come up and around, and out the front will be kind of like the bumper. And then I'm going to tie in down here to the lower section as well, which you can't see that well, and have another bar that comes out and across. So be kind of like the front bumper crash structure deal. And then off of the front side of the strut towers here, a bar is going to come off straight off of that and run in and tie into this bar here that comes around. Because this is going to come around, I'll tie in the strut tower to it, and then it's going to come around this way, and then all the bar that comes off the strut tower, the front side of it, that'll run straight forward and tie into that as well. And then I will also have a like support bar. So like this bar is going to come off like here, and then you'll have this that comes off here, right here. And then I'm going to have a bar that comes from here down to here to tie into that A-pillar bar and stuff. So that'll have better support for the front end and stuff right there as well. So it'll probably come out off the frame rails over here to come up and support this bar as well, since it is going to be tied into the strut tower and it's going to be pretty structural. So the front end will be nice and sturdy, and I'm going to make a new strut tower bar for the front as well. But that's kind of, I guess you could say, phase 2. And then phase 3, 2.5, 3, there's not really that much more that's going to go on. I'm going to make a rear bumper for the car. Like, it'll come off the rear frame rails here. And then remember, all this is going to be gone. So this will be just wide open here. And then you'll have down bars. Then it'll have a crossbar going across it. And it'll probably do some kind of bar situation back here that looks cool and is also functional in terms of its like chassis stiffening and stuff. And I'll probably end up relocating the battery to back here and stuff as well. But yeah, so that's kind of the tentative plan for doing the cage and all that stuff. So there it is. But aside from all that stuff, the plan for the car, do more engine mods, going to make more power. I'll eventually do port work, do maybe some regrind on the RL cams I'm going to put in it with Halferland Performance, and get it tuned and do all that good stuff. And hopefully, I'm hoping to make like 330 NA on this J32, which would be really good out of a 3.2. And then with as light as the car is, it's already rowdy. It'd just be even more rowdy. So, and then I'd like to take the car to the Tail of the Dragon. I'd like to maybe get it on some autocross stuff. I'd like to see if I can get it down the drag strip. I don't know if they'll let me. Depends on, I guess, how well done the cage is and what kind of safety equipment I'll need. But I would like to do that at some point. I have a draggy, so I don't necessarily need the drag strip. But I'd like to just do it to do it, because it'd just be fun. Then just go out and go hit some twisty roads, go cruising with the family, and just enjoy the car and have fun with it. But yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Nothing's happened to the car since the last video. It's been kind of raining all week and stuff, and I'm still waiting on my tube to come in. It was supposed to be in already, so I don't know what the delay is with that, but I'm gotta wait for that to come in. And then yeah, so got some more exciting news. Got a couple more sponsors on board, which is pretty exciting. So you already know we have Halferland Performance on board. I think I told you that in the last video. Reaction Performance has already been a partial sponsor on the car back when I got the coilovers. And then now of Watt Performance, who you probably, in this TL space, you guys probably have no idea who they are. But he is like the guy that owns Watt Performance, named Jason. He's like at the very forefront of Civic Type R cooling stuff. Like, he's battled through all the issues and has come up with a really good solution for the FL5 and the FK8 Civic Type Rs. And he has a triple pass radiator that he developed with PWR. And so he's helping me out with one of those, which is one of his, they're technically one of his radiators. The logo on it will be a Watt by PWR. So that'll be right up front and center. So I'll have a Civic Type R, an FL5 Civic Type R radiator in here with a trans cooler that's built into it, but I'm just going to use that for a power steering cooler. Yeah, so I got them on board. I've been working with him for a while, talking to him for a while on a bunch of stuff, so it's pretty cool that he's on board. He thinks the build's really cool, so give them a follow, check them out, check out their socials. But yeah, give Jason at Watt Performance, go give him a follow, look him up. If you guys have an F05 by chance, if you're watching this video and you're having overheating issues on track, go to him, he's the guy. Or if you know anybody with an F05, tell them to go talk to Jason because they need to. So, but yeah, so we'll have one of those in the car. So, but yeah, so there it is. There's the plan for the build. There's the plan for the cage. There's the future plans with the car and what we're going to be using it for and all that good stuff. So, hope you guys follow along. There's going to be a lot more content on the car, a lot more better content when I start doing the actual cage building and all that good stuff. Sorry, this one's kind of boring and it's a lot of talking, but I had to get something out to show more of what's going on for the new people that have tagged along already and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be posting on my Instagram reels too. I'm going to make a quick reel probably on the car and post it on the Death Kart page, because the last video I posted on there took off pretty good, so I'm going to try and keep up that as well. But yeah, so just follow along, check out the links in the description for all my sponsors, and get you some stuff if you need some stuff from any of them. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.